Hey lovely sex healthy people, welcome to today's video, which is going to be the flick through for White Dwarf 513. Blood for the Blood God on the front. So we get, as appropriate with the front cover, we get some Khorne kill team cards. Violent Strikes, Wild Rage, Bloodthirsty, Furious Blows, Bitter Scorn, Gory Rejuvenation, Savage Fixation and Death Fury. And then we have our missions. Binaric Flux. So that sounds like it's a Mechanicus sort of thing. And then Narrative Play, Battle Plan, The Summoning for Age of Sigmar. Right, so let's get into this, shall we? So, as it says here, this issue's card section includes 8 Khorne boon cards, the best number of cards for our kill team. Obviously, 8-pointed star of chaos. Plus our scenarios of the month for Age of Sigmar and Warhammer 40,000. And straight into Planet Warhammer. One collection to rule them all. Strategy battle game. What's this? While wandering through Warhammer world, editor Lyle stumbled upon all the inhabitants of Middle Earth, or close enough at any rate. This huge collection was painted by Fraser Pierce, who had this to say about his models. Building this diorama has been an epic journey. My goal was to capture the major events of the Lord of the Rings. Okay, so it looks like he's got a couple of large scale table boards there with various scenarios on, and he says, my goal was to capture the major events of the Lord of the Rings across key scenes such as Helm's Deep, the Pelennor Fields, Isengard, the Council of Elrond and Moria. What began as a casual project quickly grew as I worked through my ever-growing pile of shame. My collection currently stands at 1,300 painted models, about 25,000 points split between good and evil. My favourite part, the Charge of the Rohirrim, with over 100 riders thundering across the table. I'm eagerly awaiting the new riders of Rohan Cavalry. For individual models, the Witch King of Angmar and Fell Beast stands out. Cool, really nice. We have a Be'lakor, the Dark Master by Piotr Podolsky. Great looking demon there. We have some White Lions of Krace. For the Old World. Khan the Bloody. And Gandalf the White. Abaddon the Despoiler here, nice miniature. And then we have a Branch Witch, Branch Witch for Age of Sigmar. Worlds of Warhammer. Narrative characters in the Mortal Realms Part 2. If you missed the first part of this series, don't worry, I won't tell Be'lakor. Each of these columns focuses on one of the narrative characters or groups of characters that act as our viewpoint into the Mortal Realms. So there you go. I'm talking about Black Talons here. And then just going through various characters from different factions. Hobby Hangout. Making scenic bases for your miniatures, the extended cut. So there you go. This is just a look at making bases. So we have like a street scene here with a sewer grate. A dead space marine still smoking by the look of it from being immolated. in some way. Skulls. Really nice mushroom base here next to some water. Tyrannid infestation. And then just destroyed statuary on this one. Death and Depravity, Warhammer Age of Sigmar. A glimpse at the ceaseless rivalry between Khorne and Slaanesh. So some background fluff here. The Veil of Creatures. Wars of Blood and Pain. So this is Korgos Kull, the Lord of the Gore-Tide. So this looks to me to be Age of Sigmar again. And some background fluff on this guy. The Gore Chosen of Kull. Like all true Khornate warlords, Korgos Kull drew to himself a Gore Chosen, a circle of warriors and lieutenants in his brutal thrall. The Rise of Kull. And then you have Athol Kull here. War Scroll card. And then Gorgos Kull. And then Kull Ascended. So his 3 pit stops on his journey. We then have a narrative play battle plan, the Red Feast. An excess of violence. The Head of Knights of Slaanesh are conducting debased ritual that has angered blood god Khorne. Khorne sends one of his gracious warriors, Korgos Kull, to end it. So battle report here for Age of Sigmar. The 2 armies, Khorne and Slaanesh. And a really nice battlefield. Looks like they're playing on an old Realm of Battle board. I really do wish that they would release that again. I think I've said it a few times now, but I wish that Games Workshop would release things like their terrain in the same way that, for example, Airfix releases model kits. Okay, they'll release it for a couple of years, let it obviously be out and about, and then they'll take it off. So they do like a range rotation rather than just get rid of it altogether. And then maybe, if you're lucky and you've got enough money at the time, you can get it when they suddenly decide to just drop a made to order. You know, that sucks, GW. Come on, get a grip. Let's do a range rotation for the terrain. You know, I don't think it would hurt you. I think it would allow people to purchase terrain when they wanted it. You know, if you were to turn around and say, right, this year we're going to bring back, you know, the Realm of Battle board and the other 2 boards that we had, the Sector Mechanicus board and I think it was a Age of Sigmar one. You know, we're going to release those and we're going to allow them to be in the range for 12 months. It would give people an opportunity to save up and buy those boards if they wanted to, because not everybody wants to play on the new competition style boards. I for one prefer to play friendly games, you know, with my mates, where we set up a nice board and like terrain and stuff like that, and we might have an open board because we're fighting on a plain somewhere, you know, open plain, or we might go for a heavily dense urban board. And you know, we would love to have boards that you have produced previously come back into the range. Or even if you just did the Realm of Battle board one year, the 40,000 Mechanicus board the following year, and then the Age of Sigmar board the year after that, and just constantly rotated those every 3 years. That would be something that I could get behind, you know. And we have loads of terrain pieces that you have produced over the years that I would love to see come back into the range. You know, just do a range rotation on your terrain. You know, so the Cities of Death, I love those kits. You know, the ability to build all sorts of terrain using those kits, I think far out... what's the word I'm looking for? Is infinitely better than the terrain kits that you produce now, which are geared more towards tabletop competition play. You know, so come on, just do something for the fans. You know, for the players, for your customers. Just this once, do a range rotation policy for terrain. But battle report, here we go. So quite a few pages in the magazine devoted to our battle report. The Lictory dance here. And I can't see if it was there's no definitive. Blood Tithe is 8. Ritual Tracker 14. Okay, so it could have been a win for Khorne. Right, glory points, excess or violence, Warhammer Underworlds, creating opposing nemesis decks. So another article for building your decks for Warhammer Underworlds. Notes on the Blood God, selected writings on Khorne and his followers. So more background fluff on Khorne, this time for Warhammer 40,000. The 12th Legion, a warning. The Skull Marked, collated personal entries. Chain-driven bloodshed. So Warhammer 40,000. A look at the galaxy's most gory weapons, chain blades. So chain swords, chain axes, all sorts of nasty ways to go. Arkoth's Gore Pact, Warhammer 40,000. This looks like a Demons of Khorne army. World Eaters Combat Patrol. So here is your information on the various units within this combat patrol. You have Goremongers, Arkoth's Gore Guard, Goremongers again, Bloodletters, and then Fleshhounds. For your enhancements, the default is Dread Patron, the optional is Whirlwind of Blood. Secondary objectives, the default is Blood for the Blood God. The optional is Murderous Rampage, and your stratagems are Rending Strikes, Infernal Resilience, Unrelenting Savagery, and here are your cards. So you get 2 units of Goremongers, which is why you've only got 5 cards, because one of them's repeated twice. 4 cards, because one of them's repeated twice. Aspects of War, Debt of Blood. So this is where these come in, by the look of it. You have a D6 rolling chart for rage abilities here. And then you have basic training. Know your enemy. In these tactics articles, we often talk about playing with confidence and competence. These aren't attributes you gain immediately, but they can take a bit of time to acquire if you learn the rules for the game. Then the rules for your army. That doesn't mean you'll become a tactical genius or have luck with dice, but in time you should be able to play a game without having to look up the rules while making meaningful tactical decisions, because you know how to handle given situations. So there you go. Various scenarios and what they would do, the studio would do about them. Crucible of Blood, a snooker world beater and his host of world eaters. So, an interview with Neil Robertson, world champion snooker player and former world #1. Here is Angron. Some really nice looking armour with this rhino, a Mauler Fiend, and some great looking Corn 8-bound here. Excuse me. Prelude to Bloodshed, a stunning World Eaters army fresh from the Great Crusade. There you go. Nice, nicely painted. I do like many of the colour schemes for the Heresy era armies. Painting the 12th Legion. Nice Leviathan Dreadnought there. And then part 2 of the Trials of Albarak, the Debt of Ale. So we have probably about another 10 pages or so. Yeah. And then we're into access granted for the bunker. Kill Team League. Some great looking shots of different kill teams. We have Tempeston's Aquilans here, and we have some Space Marines from Pete's Phobos Strike Team. Shrouded Skulls is his chapter name. We have Inquisitorial Agents. And then Corn's Boon Mission Pack, so that's these guys. So it says here, set it up in a star pattern, revealing cards, gaining boon points and gaining boons and boon limit. Okay. And then we have Satellite Uplink, showing off your Gods of War, plus we speak to Dadhammer. This is magnificent. The Duchess Chambray d'Aveur, the Lioness of Corone. That is really nice. I've never seen that one before. We have Gilliman, dealing with some Nids. And then we have a Demon Prince. A nice Warmaster Ironclast Heavy Battle Titan. That looks like Legiones Astartes scale. Warhammer Studios Gods of War. Is this a Doom Hammer? Bane Hammer. The White Dwarf team play Bunker Bingo. And there you go. Basic training, know your enemy. Right, hope you enjoyed that quick flick through and catch up with White Dwarf issue 513. and hopefully I will see you in the next video. Alright, take care. Bye bye.